And we're back.
We're back. Welcome to the cavalry, ladies and gentlemen.
Feels good. Back in the captain's chair here.
Yeah.
Been, just 1 week for you guys, but 2 weeks for old Johnny Cakes and I.
That's right. Oh, we miss each other.
Oh, yeah.
Give us a moment while we embrace.
Virtually, of course.
Of course.
How you doing, Johnny? 2 weeks.
I know. Doing great. Lots to talk about.
Lots
to talk about.
Where to begin? Should I go or you go? What have you been doing for 2 weeks on your vacation?
Well, I'll tell you,
Your cavalry
I
vacation.
I tried to see Dave Matthews Band.
You tried?
That. I did. I had some friends came. They had tickets. They're big Dave Matthews. They go, they follow him, whatever, and they stayed at our place, and they offered to take me and Aaron. Aaron couldn't go because of the kids, so I went Saturday. They went Friday and Saturday. They got pit tickets for the Friday. They were like front row, and looking at Dave and jerking off to his facial expressions. And then Saturday, we went. There was thunderstorm, tornado warnings on the radar all day. We're like, oh no, are they going to cancel? We get there, looking good. They hold us at the gate, looking good. They let us in. We're all at Alpine Valley. Well, it's 7:10. And all of a sudden on the loudspeaker, attention everybody, please go back to your car and keep an eye on socials for updates. Like they're going to postpone the show or something. I think they just say that to prevent riots. But I was like, I'm not going to have everyone come back in. There's no way they could figure that out. And then, an hour later, they're like, yep, we're going to reschedule. And so but it was, we got to the car and it was just all of a sudden it was downpouring. There was tornado warnings. And
also, speaking as a performer, you'd probably agree with this. Once you've suggested the idea of giving us the night off, there's no postponement. Like, go ahead, that we can't do the show. Then you go out to dinner and everything and you're relaxing. Like, you know what? Actually, let's do. You're like, sorry, pal. It's canceled.
That ship has sailed.
That ship has sailed. We either do it as scheduled or we don't do it at all.
But what's funny is we're in the car and we're trying to figure out if we're gonna go. My friend Kevin, his wife Nicole, like they're both big diehards, but she was like, I don't want to leave. We can't leave until we know concretely this is not happening. So she's talking to the people in the truck parked next to us, and it's the rain's coming down. We're like, all right, we got confirmation we can leave. And then there's a person lying down just on the field behind the car, and there's a crowd around him. And he's so messed up, like wasted. He would get up and then he would just collapse. Like I'm thinking, oh, this is like a medical problem.
Yeah.
He'd get up, he'd collapse. Now Nicole is a nurse, so she's like, oh my gosh, she gets out, she's doing his pulse and all that stuff. He gets up, he collapses. I'm like, this guy is fucked up. I mean, I think he was just like so loaded out of his mind. He kept collapsing. And we're like, oh man, there's no way, you can't, no one has cell service because we're at Alpine Valley. It's a parking lot of people trying to leave. There's no way an ambulance can get there. All of a sudden, he fucking shits his pants, gets up, and just darts off into the night. It was so terrible. Oh my God. It was like
while your friend Nicole was like checking his pulse, he just shits his pants.
Yeah. I mean, I was sitting in the car kind of looking through the rearview mirror because I was like, there's no sense in me staying out in the road. I'm not helping any, so I'll just watch from the car. They were in there and they come back. I opened the door to check what's going on, and I'm like, oh, what? It smells like a upside down outhouse. They get in the car, they're like, he shit his pants. He shit his pants. And he did. Oh, it was bad.
She should have
something worse.
She should have taken credit for saving his life, being like, hey guys, he was about to die and I made him shit his pants and he's gonna live.
It's an old nurse's trick.
If he hadn't shit his pants in that moment, he was seconds from death. But I made him, not only did I save his life, he was able to run away.
That's right. Quick thinking.
Yeah.
There's just so many aspects of that. First of all, I'm thinking that guy's got to get a ride home with someone. Someone is riding home with this guy that smells worse, like human shit is so much stinkier than just any other kind of shit.
That's like, what if he has to call an
Especially,
Uber and then you just really have to like trick him? You know, it's like you're
oh
like
yeah.
waiting, waiting, waiting. He sees you. He's like, no, don't get out. I'll just, and then you just run in. Go, 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 quick. Start driving before you, before the snow
Once you're
gets
in
in the
the
front.
car, yeah, the
Hey,
driver gonna be like, get out, get out. He's gonna be like, you
yeah.
what, you want to come get me out? Why don't you take me where I'm going?
Hey, I have
And then
this
I'll go.
weird knee injury where I have to sit with my ass out the window. So, could you roll down the windows?
I
There's no
have
other
this
way for
weird
my knee to
knee
bend.
injury where there's shit all over my ass.
You have this weird knee injury. Yeah. Who is
Oh,
legally required to take, is that like an ADA requirement? Is there somebody that has to drive you even if you shit your pants? I guess it's just an ambulance. An ambulance is the
yeah,
only car
I
that
don't
has to
know.
drive you, maybe.
Man, and that's another thing. Like the next day, you know that like, people that were with them, hey, how was the concert? Oh man, I got fucked up. I shit my pants. I don't remember anything. I thought the concert got canceled. Yeah, a lot of pre-gaming. A lot of pre-gaming.
Or he's like, it did? The
Yeah,
concert
no
got
shit.
canceled? Oh man, that sucks.
That sucks for
Man,
people
other people must
aware.
have had a bad night. I had a great time.
What's your thoughts on this? So I like, I go to concerts I like, and I get the and I get the concert poster, like Pearl Jam, Counting
Yeah.
Crows, Thriller, whatever. Ryan Adams. So I have all these concert posters, but I only get them to ones I go to. And I got the concert poster
No.
for this one
Nope.
before it got canceled. It got canceled, so I'm like, wow, it's a cool poster. So I just put it up in Duncan's room.
Yeah, okay. That's a good that's where the
Big
illegitimate
ones.
concert posters go. Is Duncan's room.
Yeah.
I think you can put it up, but you have to smear a little shit on it to remember what
Yeah.
actually happened.
Right. I don't think
Use
I'll ever
it
forget.
use it as toilet paper. It's the only thing you can
Yeah.
do. Man,
What about
what a
you?
wild Dave Matthews Band. What a bunch of wusses. Get out there and play. What are the odds you're gonna get hit by lightning or you're gonna get blown away? I mean, did a tornado come ripping through and you know?
I don't think so. They rescheduled it for this Sunday, but they're not going. I'm not going. I think they're just
I'll
gonna be a
tell you
rainy
who's
day.
going is that guy who shit his pants.
Yeah.
He's committed.
Yes. Oh
Uh
yeah.
the I'm so curious, but so you think like because I've never heard of someone passing out or like collapsing from having to, was that his only ailment? Or do you think he was just like
I don't
really
know.
drunk?
Nicole thinks he has like a mental thing, but that's not as funny of a story.
Oh, I wish you hadn't have said
I
that,
always
to be
leave
honest.
that detail out. I
I
don't know. This guy was so messed
I
up. Who
gotta
knows?
say, Johnny, I really wish you hadn't have said that. With the amount of fun we were having with this guy, and now the tenor of everything is just, you know what? Let's go ahead
Ah,
and start over. Let's just
huh?
go ahead and cut.
All right, let's start. We'll try it again. Oh my gosh. Hey, Drew, I have some bad news. This is not a
Uh,
laughing matter. There is a civilian out there
and I also
somewhere.
I like how you're like, oh well, Nicole thinks he might have some mental problems. Oh, you mean the one person who got close enough to him to tell, but you're sure that he didn't? No,
And
he knew
the nurse.
he knew what he was doing. He had all his
I could
faculties.
tell from the rear view mirror, from my view
Yeah,
of the side
he
mirror from the
wanted to
pouring
shit
rain.
his pants and ruin
Yeah.
everybody's Dave Matthews concert.
Yeah, he just made it memorable. That's all.
Dave, that's what they yell. Dave.
Yeah.
All right.
It brings out the best in people.
Well, I had, so let's see. We went to Arizona and we went to Sedona for Heidi's 40th birthday, which is beautiful. If have you ever been to Sedona?
I gotta ask Aaron. I'm not sure.
Okay, great. But it looks exactly like the Roadrunner Coyote cartoon. So the whole time my daughter was like looking for the Roadrunner and Coyote. It's very cute.
Okay.
Then I had a wedding. So I was the best man in my best friend's wedding in Flagstaff, Arizona this weekend. Had to give the speech, the whole thing, and
Okay.
it was all fine. People are always like, I don't know if you had to give wedding speeches as when you've already established that you're a comedian in those socials, like people know you're a stand-up comedian, and then you have to give like a big wedding type speech.
Just my brother Scott's. That's pretty
So
much it.
nobody really care. They're not. There's no pressure to be like.
Yeah.
You have to be funny as Johnny. You don't have to be funny for a comedian,
Right. Right.
right? So I was getting a lot of that where it's like, uh, oh,
You're getting a lot of what? Oh, you're the comedian.
you're
Let's
the
hear what he said.
comedian. Oh, I can't wait for your speech, and you're just like, just don't judge it on. So I think the key in that is you try to lean. I had like some jokes in there, but you do lean towards sincerity. You surprise people
Yeah.
that way. But that all went
You get more
fine.
for it that way.
What's you get way more credit. They're like, oh wow, that was so moving.
Yeah.
Uh, that all went fine. But then, and it was a great wedding. Lots of fun. Ginger was a maniac the whole time, but it was fun. But then so they had, modern weddings. I think they invest a lot in the recording of the events. So there's like a photographer, there's a
Hmm.
videographer. There was like I think three of those people, and there was a content creator. Have you ever been at a wedding
Oh
where they had a content creator? They
no.
paid someone to come with their iPhone
Oh no.
and like film, the brides getting ready and the
To, who,
group.
to
But
whose account?
it's just some professional social media account. But I looked it up. It's got
Okay.
like 2,000 followers. So you're like, I don't know. How good are you at this? But what they would
Wow.
do is like what bothered me, and maybe I was a little openly hostile about it. I still like I gave it the effort when they would ask because it's my best friend. I was like,
Yeah.
they asked me to do something, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it like maximum effort. I'm not gonna be like sarcastic or do it half-assed. But I did make fun of it before because she would be like, "Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We want all you guys to walk around this corner, and remember, it's like you're going to the big game, and you're really excited about going to the big game." I was like, oh, I have an idea. What if we all walk around this corner carrying our suits because we're about to put these suits on for a wedding, and we're really excited because it's our really good friends getting married. And this is kind of like a once in a lifetime thing. And we could all just be excited that we're going to our friend's wedding. What if that was our inspiration for this fucking stupid thing? Like, just film everybody doing. Wouldn't that be better? Like, just filming people doing. I get that the
Yeah.
idea of like wanting it to look like iPhone footage instead of like the classic wedding video. I get that. But just like then just film us being us. Like I don't want to be coached. So we had to do all this
Right.
stuff like hey, wink at the camera or walk by or okay, now like rough him up or jump on his back. And you're like, "Oh my god." It just
It's gonna read
adds.
like a reality show.
It honestly gave me LA PTSD of when you were doing some stupid sketch or those things, and there'd be some producer or commercials or something, and they're like,
Yeah.
okay, we're gonna make it really silly, we're gonna make it really fun, try it, and I was like, oh, I just reminded me of how much I hate it. Doing
Yeah.
anything that's not just you're being yourself is so
Yeah.
rough.
Uh,
So I
so
don't.
did you comment on it in your speech?
No, 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 no. I wasn't gonna talk shit about. I mean, it was like trying to show the respect. Oh, but
Sure.
they did. It was a classic thing. So I'm the best man, right? And they had a
Yep.
ring bearer. It was very like traditional. And the ring bearer gives me the ring. He gives me a ring. And in my head, like I'm so stupid, but in my head, I'm like, isn't there
Shouldn't there be
supposed to be
two?
two rings? And so I've got the ring, and then the officiant, he's like, hey, what okay, now here's the ring. Let's get the rings. I'm like, rings? I got one ring. And this is
Yeah.
what am I can't yell at this little kid, So I give him the ring, and then he's like,
Yeah.
where's the other ring? I don't know. So they had
That's
forgotten
what
to,
I'm wondering right now.
yeah, so they forgot to give the kid the second he got the Jason's ring, my buddy's, but he didn't get the
Yeah.
Megan's ring, the bride's.
So
So they
where
had
was
to,
it?
it's just in the back, like where the bride
Oh,
got ready or whatever. So they there was
oh,
some photographer was on it though. That's a good part about having like 6 photographers at your wedding, because she just went back there, grabbed it, and like nobody knew. They thought it was a bit. Everybody at the wedding thought it was like a little funny bit, like, oh, it's like classic 80s sitcom, like, Rick, you had it. I thought I didn't have the ring. I thought you had the ring, you know.
yeah.
So it went off without a hit. So that was saved my life. Uh and
Oh,
then oh, and then they wanted to so then my buddy Jason, he's like, hey, it was sad because she has these, I think, grandparents, both grandparents, who were sick and couldn't attend the wedding, like with cancer.
yeah.
And they were really bummed because they love Flagstaff. That's part of the reason why they got married in Flagstaff, you know. So they're really disappointed. So Jason was going to surprise Megan by having me call them on his phone when they were about to do the vows, put it on
Yeah.
speaker, and then put it in his like suit pocket so that they could hear the vows
Oh,
in real
okay. Yeah.
time. It's like a sweet idea.
Sure.
The
Yeah.
problem is it's a surprise, right? So all Megan sees is me pull out a cell phone, start calling these people and putting it on speaker. Plus, and then I put on, and these idiot grandparents with cancer, the first thing they go, hello? And it's on speakerphone. You're like, shut
Ah,
up. Didn't you know the plan? You're on speaker.
shut
So
up,
then,
Gramps.
and then Megan's looking at me like she's gonna murder me. She's like, "What the fuck? What are you doing?" You know, like I'm taking a call,
Yeah.
like ordering a pizza or something. Like I just want this to be hot and ready when I'm. So,
It's Little Caesars.
but then he Jason's whispered to her grandpa or something. And so then I put it in his pocket. So that was all fine. But those were the
Oh,
big
so it did work out.
that was the wedding. But Flagstaff is was fun. I'd say Sedona is great though. Sedona's beats Flagstaff.
Sedona. Isn't
And
that like
now we're
wine?
broke. We spent way too
Sedona? Is
much
that
money.
like No, I know why Sedona. No, I don't think I've been to Sedona. Erin goes to Sedona when she visits her LA friends. They meet in Sedona.
Oh yeah, did she get into? Because you know what else they have in Sedona? It's very because it's very beautiful, but also they're really into like the psychics and the auras and
I did
crystals.
that once. Yeah,
Did they
they
do
did
that
the
all? Yeah. Heidi got her aura for her birthday. She got her aura read or
what did they
whatever.
say? How does she feel about all that?
Oh, she likes it. She gets into it. I can't remember. It's blue or red or yellow. There was a color involved, and it you
Oh,
know
what
what?
they
You know what's interesting? It completely validates the opinions she already had about herself. Isn't that funny how it works?
isn't that interesting?
Isn't that
Isn't
interesting?
that in-
But then it was funny too because they found out it was her birthday. Like, oh, we're gonna give you the deluxe package. And it's just this like 3 ring binder printed out. It looks like a Fidelity stock portfolio. It's just all these bullshit graphs and
yeah.
lines and pie charts. And you're like, how do you guys even make all this shit up? It's just it must be exhausting.
Do they do like talking to the dead and stuff like that? Or do they
I'm
just do
sure
like
because there's a lot of
yeah.
psychics there. She didn't do any of that. Um, she didn't do any psychic actually. She just did the aura reading.
Okay.
Whatever the difference is, I don't know.
What does
But
that
I
tell you?
think you have to go to a different college.
But
you
but
have
I mean, what
you have
is
to
your
get
aura? Like
you
if you
have to
told
get a
me my
different
aura,
you have to get a different degree uh to do palm readings. You know, it's funny. There actually is like this guy, Sean O'Sullivan, I think is his name. He's a Boston comic. He had the best bit about in Massachusetts, you needed a license. Like you needed a psychic
yeah,
license because he used to work at the DMV. And so it was funny about how you would get your how this all
psychic
bullshit,
license.
but it's like a license. You're an unlicensed psychic. It was a very funny bit. I don't forget how it goes, but it was a good premise.
But so if you were to tell me my aura, Well, what exactly would that mean? Like, oh,
Well,
you're a kind person, but you're nervous in crowds.
yeah.
Like, are you just telling her stuff she knows about herself?
Well, it's more like so. I'll just tell you literally what they do. I'm not going to explain this very well because in my whole time my head was like, this is so fucking stupid. But you have to pretend, you know. So you say things like, yeah, I could see how um if it means something to you, then I could see how. But you're in your head, you're just like, why even waste your time?
Why did
So
I give you my money?
yeah, she
You're bad with your money. Oh my God, I am. I just gave it to her.
you like spending money on bullshit. Whoa, this guy's good.
This guy's good. Or is he?
Or is he? Uh, so you stand there and they take your picture and then they print it out and then using their special magic crystal HP laserjet printer. it's, and so it's run on uh, energy, which we call electricity. They plug into the wall.
Sure.
But anyway, they it prints out, and then there's colors behind you, right? So it's
Okay.
capturing the aura, the colors behind you, and then they can tell. So if you're like, there's lots of red, it means one thing. If there's blue, yellow, green, So
Yep.
depending on, I don't know which color means what, but depending on the color, they could tell you this type of color is this type of person, this type of color is that type. It's like your horoscope or something.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Would you
Oh, so it's
ever would you
so
ever
it's
do a
legit. So it's
so
legit.
yeah, so it sounds like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I
But
didn't
that's
want to
not what
make
they
it
did. They
sound
did like
stupid.
Erin and her friends. Erin didn't do it, but her friends did. A couple of her friends, and like I don't know. It was like oh, life changing. Talking to like relatives that had passed on, and I can't.
That one I have more moral qualms with because it seems so manipulative. Like if you're just
Yeah,
getting your palm read and it says you're about to come into money or like I think that was one
yeah.
thing. Heidi was supposed to be coming into money. I was like, I wonder if they ever say the opposite where they're like, oh boy, you're about to fucking get your lunch ate here. I would get all your money out of the stock market immediately.
I am
Uh
cashing this check before you leave.
yeah, you are in for a downturn. But um that one talking to dead relatives just seems so I mean, because there was somebody there. We were with one of our friends who came for Heidi's birthday.
Yeah,
She said she did that. And it was like right after maybe one of her parents died or something. I wasn't really listening. But after
right.
um no, it was one of her parents. And she said it was very helpful and she felt like this big relief. So again, this is what I in the most charitable version of it is like if it is in any way helpful to you to 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 say things to your
Yeah,
dead relatives in a forum or setting where it feels like you're actually talking to them, then great,
yeah,
But
yeah.
it seems kind of like predatory, when you're playing
I
with
know.
people's
Yeah.
feelings like that. But I don't know.
It's just like because they're swearing like, no, this is like there's something. She knew things. There's no way she knew,
Right.
blah blah blah, all this stuff. And I'm just like, I don't
No.
know the person. I don't know, but I can't. I just can't
I
get behind
know
it.
I know too many magicians. I know too many I know too many mentalists, okay?
Yeah,
Trust me. What number are you guessing? 27. Yeah, they always fucking know it's 27 or whatever it is. Like they just know because there's just a thing that it's all tricks.
all tricks. Yeah,
It's all tricks. That's
yeah,
what you learn about life as you get older. It's all a bunch of tricks. Nothing's real.
yeah. All
So
bullshit.
that's what we've been doing.
Nice.
I don't know.
Oh,
Should we get into what else? Do you have any
can
other?
I tell you? What did I text you? I know I texted you, but we should share it on here. What happened at Duncan's baseball
Oh yeah,
game?
yeah, yeah. Please, please,
The
please,
catch. I
please.
told it on stage twice, and it gets a pretty good laugh. It's a true story. It's not even a joke. I'm just telling the story. But like, so Duncan's in fourth grade. It's the I think second season that they've ever done kid pitch. It was always machine pitch. So most kids are it's just hard to watch because it's like, oh my god, walk after walk after walk.
Yeah,
It's crazy. And so Duncan's pitching. He's pretty good, and he's pitching. But the catcher like approaches the plays like, hang on, timeout, walks up to Duncan, and they like meet halfway, just like you see in Major League Baseball,
yeah,
and they're like talking, and like the parents are kind of looking at each other like, what is going on? Like, what in the hell are they talking about?
yeah.
Like,
How
like this is
confident is
kind of
this
cute, but what's
catcher?
going on? And in my head, I'm a little, in my head, I'm a little like, I think it's funny, but I'm like, is this catcher? I'm getting defensive of Duncan. I'm like, is this
Right.
catcher saying shit to like, hey
Like give.
man, you got to throw it harder, try to get it over the
Yeah,
plate,
yeah, yeah,
come on.
yeah.
So I was like, all right, whatever. And I kind of forgot about it. And then that night, I was tucking him in, and I remembered it because I was showing him videos of him batting. And I was like, hey, what did the catcher say when you and the catcher were talking? What did he say? And he was like, oh, he said, he goes, you know how sometimes in baseball the catcher wiggles his fingers in front of his wiener. I'm going to do that. And then he went back and he did it. It's like that was the whole exchange.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
God, I just love it. It's
That's
so
it's so
great.
great because it's not acknowledging at all why the catcher would wiggle his fingers in front of his
Right.
wiener. It's not like, hey, what if we had signals? Because I'm sure like you're only throwing one type of pitch at that age, right? There's
Yeah.
not like
Oh yeah, you're just trying to get it to the
Duncan's
strike zone.
mixing in a slider and a curveball and a knuckle. So the other thing that
Yeah.
makes me, what's sad about that is they've gotten rid of that.
They
That
gotten
is
rid of what?
the finger system, fingering each other.
Can't do that. Why?
They don't finger each other in baseball anymore because they're trying to speed up the game, So they've gone to a
Yeah.
radio thing. So they have earpieces and they just go like click, 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 and then they know which pitch.
Who's doing the clicking? The coach or the
The,
catcher?
the catcher still calls it, but he calls it with like he's not using hand signals anymore. It just goes. I forget how they do it, but somehow
How is the clicker faster? It's just it's just cutting out the nodding time.
and I think because guys can steal signs. If you're on second base and you're looking and you can
Oh
start to
yeah, yeah.
learn. So then you have to
Oh,
make the
okay.
signs very intricate. So it's like 1-2-1-1 is a fastball, or two
Oh, okay.
two one two is a curve. You know what I mean? They have to constantly change them up, and that takes a bunch of
Okay.
time. So and because the pitch clock, so they're just trying to move it along. So I forget how the catcher actually does signal to the pitcher, but there's some sort of earpiece radio involved.
Does he just whisper it
So they
like
don't
he's
do the
Mike?
little finger thing.
Don't do a fastball.
Yeah. Fastball, see? Uh, no, it's not with their voice because that would defeat the purpose. Hitter's like, what? Can you speak up, please?
Oh,
Uh,
I did think
so
it was funny. I think I texted you this too about
that
the kid
makes
that
me
like
laugh
two
so much.
swings. The kid took two swings and then he switched sides, and everyone laughed because like that's how underdeveloped these kids are. For wait a minute, I'm not a lefty.
And then did he
Wow.
just blast it? Like once he got on the right side, just knock it out of the park?
No, he ended up getting walked anyway.
Oh yeah, they all
That's
get
what I think
just
happens at
don't
this
swing.
age is the kids are scared. And so they're like, well, you know what? These pitchers all suck. So I'm just going to stand here. And odds are he's going to get four balls before he can throw three good ones. So,
Right.
and the coach is like, you got to swing. You got to swing. Because when there's a good pitcher, they're fucked.
Yeah. The because that is the fear is striking out. You just don't want to strike out.
My fear was I'd rather strike out than get hit when I was in fifth grade. I was so scared. They're throwing balls super fast at me. Like, what if it hits my fingers when I'm swinging? Like, what if it hits where my fingers are on the bat?
If your main fear in baseball is getting hit by a pitch, I would suggest, just not playing. That's one way to solve that.
Well, I only played one season,
Oh, well, there you go.
and That's why.
Smart kid.
Yeah, thanks.
You
Thanks,
figured it
man.
out.
Yeah, it's a
No.
life hack.
Oh, well, we went. So speaking of kid activities, we this because I haven't talked to you. We went to Ginger's dance recital,
Oh yeah.
and this is the one we had to pay $30 a head for, 30 and change.
Oh boy.
So $90 to get
Oh,
me, my wife, and my mother-in-law in the building,
you
and they
didn't
had
want to do like
all.
Broadway where you just go in at intermission and act like you were smoking?
Well, so she had two shows, right? And technically,
Yeah.
if we wanted to see both, we would have had to pay twice. So they're like, most people just go to one. So they're like, she's three, but they're like, just drop her off, and then you can pick her up after the. And it was like, I don't know. So we do drop her off. They take her backstage because there's all different ages. It ranges all the way up to like high school. These kids.
Okay.
So obviously her group, they're keeping an eye on her, whatever. And she goes out there. It was adorable. It's very fun and very cute. It was funny because she's tall for her age, so she's like the tallest one, but she's also the
Yeah.
youngest one. And you kind of want to explain to all the parents, like, hey, I know she looks like she's not the oldest. That other kid who's killing it over there, she's much older. So just let's remember which one's the youngest. And but uh, you're exactly right. Just here's my advice to parents: never pay for that shit. Never pay, because we took her to the second one and then we're just standing around like, so we're just gonna wait outside this auditorium for her to finish. It's like, I was like, Heidi, let's just go in. And so we just went in and we sat right in the front. I knew which side she was going to be on, so we sat right on the right side,
You
front
just
row
didn't pay?
seats. Didn't pay. No one's
Yeah.
checking tickets. You know, I'm never paying for
That's
that
like
stuff
Duncan's.
again.
Yeah, that's like Duncan's basketball games. You just always say, "Oh, I'm a coach." Oh, what is
Yeah,
a seventh grader going to be like? Whoa, 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 whoa! Prove it.
and I have zero guilt about it because the audacity. I mean, I'm paying for these lessons every week. Just charge me for more. If you charged me for, if you said, hey, we're running short on money, we got to raise tuition, fine, I can accept that. But don't charge me to see my own daughter
Yeah,
dance.
how they get you. They try to
Yeah,
lower the cost. So it's like, here's how much
because
and then they
they can
drop it halfway through. They're like, well, you got to pay to see it. What are you going to be like?
they can charge whatever they want, you know. Anyway,
But
but it was
now
fun. All right, so topics.
topics. Let's get into topics. Oh my gosh, this is great. We
Oh,
we
hey,
had 2 weeks, and I replenished my bucket.
I know but I'm gonna go. Let me go first because I'm gonna give
Do it.
you some flowers. I'm gonna admit I'm gonna do a mea culpa for myself, complain about something, and then get into my topic. So you know how
Okay,
I'm always giving you shit about the airlines, like when you book on Spirit and then you complain about it.
that's exactly what I was hoping you were going to say. Yes, I do.
I'm gonna say I did the same. I did the rental car version of that. I booked Fox rental car, using like rentalcars.com or something. Just like it was like, this is
Sure.
a very expensive vacation. It was long. It was a lot of hotels, a lot of so I was just like trying to cut costs any way I could. They had a really good deal on a rental car for a week compared to all the other major ones. So I did it. And I get there and I did it all online, clicked no on everything, insurance,
Yep.
all
Yep.
that shit. Get the car. She doesn't say anything. Everybody else in front of me, I noticed they're like giving them the 20-minute pitch about, yeah, you really should get this. You really should get that. I'm like, I'll bring it back full. I know all the things. I don't need insurance. Bring it back full. She's like, okay, whatever. She doesn't even try to pitch me on the stuff, except
Okay.
for the gas thing. But I told her no. And so then she's
Okay.
like, yo, I'll just sign here. So I'm not, you don't read it. Do you read it when you sign it?
No,
No.
they
So
just
I just,
explained it to you as they're like, ah, this
yeah,
is for
I
this.
just sign whatever. Give me the car. So I turn it in. Oh, and by the way, then like somebody did like open the door like super hard. This Asian woman was driving, this old Asian, her mom, I think, was sitting in the back seat, and we're in the parking lot of some grocery store. And I'm just sitting there, I'm waiting for Heidi. She went in, and the car like literally rocks. It's like, and you're like, whoa. And this like old mom just fired her door into the and you know
Into
what they
your
give
rental
me?
car.
Into the rental car. And I'm thinking the whole time, I'm like, well, I never get the insurance, so I'm a little worried. And
Yeah.
then they give me one of these. This is And then they just walk in, just a little wave, like, oh, that was me. Just, I was like, what a brilliant move. Like,
Oh
don't
my God.
apologize. Don't get like, oh shoot, oh, should we exchange it? Just go, that was me. Sorry. And I just walked right into the store.
So what do you got? You looked at the door. What happened to the door? Was there a big,
There
huge
was a
ding?
there was like a good little, it was like tiny, but it was like an indent, like a very small poke,
Sure.
which they always say I wasn't worried about because in rental cars they're always like it has to be longer than a wider than a
Like a,
quarter or whatever. So
yeah.
anyway, so
So then you
I bring
dropped
the
it
car
off.
back. You can tell where the story is going. They put on like $300 worth of insurance on the bill. They're charging me 28 bucks a day. So
Uh,
I call, I complain. There's no way to get a hold of anyone. I'm like leaving bad reviews. I'm emailing them. And
sure.
if, and they're all like, and then they give you this shit about, well, that's why you really should book directly with the company and not through these third party apps or third party,
Oh
compiling
no.
sites. And now this is what I need backup on. Okay. This is
Okay.
my topic. You can't say that if you're a company. If you put your services
Yeah.
on the site,
On their roster. Yep.
you did that. You
Yeah.
American Airlines or Hertz rental car, you put
Box.
your shit on
Yeah.
there because you wanted me to book you. And maybe you made the
Yep.
price lower on there because you were hoping I would book it on there. You can't then turn around and go, hey, well, you're an asshole for booking us. You
Oh,
put it on
totally.
there.
Totally.
Take your shit
Oh,
off. Don't be on the site if it's bad, if it doesn't work. It doesn't make any sense. We're small businessmen, You're a small business,
yeah.
I'm a small business. If I list my services on the
The
Bash,
bash.
or if you book me through Funny Business or something else, I can't then go show up and be shitty and not funny and go, well, hey, you booked me through that fucking thing. You got to call me directly if you want a real show.
Yeah. Oh man.
So
I totally agree. What's their argument like? Well, they don't make it clear on the Expedia site how to waive the insurance, so that's not our fault.
no, it's just that if you book through a third party, we can treat you badly. I think that's really like what they're all like. The airlines do it too. They're like, well, we can't really change it because you booked it through a third party. It's like, but you could.
Yeah,
You know what I
you
mean?
could.
You have all the power.
Yeah.
You're the
Velocity
plane.
won't mind if you switch the flight on me.
Like the lady who checks my ticket and lets me on the flight, and the guy who flies the plane. They all work for you. So you
Yeah.
could change things. All those people would have to do is make different decisions when I approach them, and then I could get on those planes.
That's total bullshit because like when they change the flight, they go directly to you.
Yeah.
So
No,
why
it's
can't you go directly to them when you need something?
I just don't like this like tiered, and it's like they do it too where like, oh well, you get points. You get this many miles if you book it with this credit card, but if you book it with a different credit card, you're like, just simplify.
It's all the
Just make it
same.
like
Yeah.
one thing.
Yeah. I think it's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
I think it's bullshit.
If those third party things are so bad, don't put your shit on there. Like
Yeah, exactly.
Southwest, I think I'll give them credit. I don't think they put their stuff on there.
They're not on anywhere. You have
So,
to book through Southwest.
good for them.
Yep.
That way they can't have any different, everyone gets the same experience.
Yep.
Because there's nothing more annoying when you complain about customer service of some like you got not I'm not complaining about I actively got scammed. Like they actively put on something on my bill that I told them I did not want. Like that's a scam. But you
Are
complain
you
about
fighting?
that, right? And then everybody comes in. The first comment from everybody's like, "That's why I always book directly through the company." And you're like, "Well, that's why I always tell you to shut the fuck up."
Yeah. Thanks for your helpful information,
That's
fuckhead.
that like when people leave all those comments and then go say what that you should have done. It's like, how about you just tell me how I can get my $300 back? I don't need
So
what I
you are
should have done.
fighting it, right?
Yeah, yeah. So the guy said, it's funny too because everyone acts powerless, but I call and go, hey, I need this taken off my bill. I didn't ask for this insurance. He goes, okay, well, I'm looking at this and I'll go ahead and submit it. 72 hours, and then they'll come back with a decision and they'll let you know in 72 hours. I'm like, what are you? Is it a tribunal that meets? Like, you're
Right.
them, you're the company. He's like, well, I'm just
Yeah.
billing. Yeah, billing is my problem.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with the guy that checked me out.
Yeah, the car was fine, you know. I don't need a mechanic. I'm just
Yeah.
billing. I can't make any decisions. It's like, so I'm sure I'll get an email in 72 hours saying, well, no, you
It was
know, and then I'll
declined.
just have to respond to that. And I already left my horrible reviews, so that I'm trying to find any avenue I can to get justice. But
It sounds like Carvana. You've got a Carvana
I got
experience
a
on
little
your hand.
Carvana going. But you won that eventually, didn't you?
No,
Like,
we still have it. I just took it to a dealership and they were like, water's
oh,
not going
no
to come
way.
in. Yeah. So we're just like living with it. It's still not fixed. We went through all the nightmare and then we got it back from the dealership and I didn't even look at it because I was like, well, they said they fixed it. And then we got home and Aaron was like, hey, it's still fucked up. And I was like, what? You kidding me?
Oh my God.
And then he's like, yeah, you gotta, we don't, I don't know what they fucking did. But anyway, everybody made money off the beaners that day.
Yeah, man. So anyway, you're backing me up. What do you need backup on,
Oh,
Johnny?
all right. Well, I'll go with this one. Since we were talking about baseball, I've been watching a lot of kids baseball. I think foul balls should only count as like a half a strike instead of a full strike.
Whoa. Okay.
Because you swing, you make contact, you could blast it all the way to the home run distance. And if it's just on the right side of the thing, nope, that's just as good as if you would have whiffed it. Come on, that's not fair.
But you can't strike out on a foul ball.
Yeah.
So it's already kind of like half a strike. You know what I mean? It's not
No,
like
because you
swinging and missing.
let's say you hit two home runs in the foul zone, and then the last one, it's a shitty call on the umpire.
Okay. But sometimes there's foul balls where they're really pathetic and weak and little pop ups, but they barely go out of.
Sure.
So what if there's like the umpire just decides, like,
A
oh man,
tiered
you ripped
system.
that. That's not a strike. But if it's like
Yeah.
a little dribbler, you go, oh, that's a strike.
Yeah, that was a
Dude,
strike and a half. That was poor
that
form,
made me
asshole.
mad. That's two strikes. That was so shitty.
Yeah. Yeah,
You like
we
that?
could do that. We could do that. I think because there's too
Just
much
because
effort when it's like a
I'm a little worried about like, and I'm surprised this is your take, but like anything that makes baseball slower is just not great. So
that's
half
a very good
strikes.
point.
I mean, you've
That's
already
really
got
slow the game down.
a long day. Like when these
What if
umpires,
we do what if we do half strikes, but you can strike out? Like you could get six foul balls, you're out.
oh
Because
yeah,
that's
I
three
don't mind
strikes.
that. I do like that. Because there's nothing worse than when there's some um hitter who's just like fouling off pitch after pitch after pitch after pitch, and you're like, oh my god, get rid of this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, six foul balls and you're out. I like that.
Yeah. So that then we'll get rid of the you can't foul out on a or you can't strike out on a foul, but each one is only worth half. That's a good
Okay,
compromise.
okay, there you go. I'll give
All
you
right,
that.
good.
Um, someone should be keeping track of all the ways you've changed baseball, and then what the actual rules would be. Because I feel like you've had topics in the
Some good
past,
ideas.
some
I do
rule
remember my
changes.
pitching one where the pitcher has to be like way back by second base because it's just too right. Wasn't that
Yeah,
one? Yeah,
was
it's
that
too
right?
boring. He strikes. You got to scoot it back like halfway between
Yeah,
second and the home plate
it's
or
weird.
in the current place.
It's weird about baseball because like when we were growing up in the '90s, the hitters were just like they're all as the steroid era, but the
Like
pitchers
Jake
were on.
Canseco.
Yeah, but the pitchers were on steroids too. So it's not like, it's not like they had some unique advantage, the hitters. The pitchers were taking roids. But then they were all hitting like 360 with like, 50 home runs. I mean, it was just insane. And now, like, I don't know if you've been paying attention to baseball at all, but like
Nope.
most teams don't have a batter in the 300s. Most of them are
Okay.
hitting under 300. It's like pathetic. It is. It's going faster. It's fun to. It's more fun to watch because of the speed. But these guys need to figure out how to hit again.
Too many games I'm watching where it's just low score. Like that's what I say. You move the pitcher back,
Move the
and
pitch
neither of
back.
them can be on steroids. Then you'd get way more hit. We'd have higher scores, right?
Yeah. So let them take steroids again. Move the pitcher back
Yeah.
to second base.
Yep.
Foul balls are half strikes, and
Yep.
you can strike out after 6 foul balls.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the way to do it.
All right. We saved baseball.
Yeah. I like that.
Backing you up.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Good app,
We're
dude. Good to
back,
see you
back in the
again.
groove.
Back in the
Yeah.
groove. What do you got coming up?
Oh my gosh, I haven't even looked. Do you know what you have?
I
coming
got
up?
Tacoma Comedy Club, July.
Ooh, good club.
Well, it's the small room. No offense to
Oh,
me.
well, last
Proctor
couple
Street.
times I was there, they just had the one room.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll probably be fun though. Intimate. July 19th and 20th.
All
Tacoma
right.
Comedy Club.
Lincoln Lodge, Chicago, June 5 and 6. I don't know which of the 3 rooms I'm in, but if you're there, I'll be there too.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Chicago.
There was something else I was going to say. What did you just plug? You plugged something, didn't you?
The Tacoma Comedy Club.
Yeah, I can't remember. Forget it.
All
I
right.
had something. All right. Well, anyway, whatever.
So that's it, everybody. Thank you for listening to
The
Cavalry.